thoughts
Yeah.
Don't get scared.
and expand them more. I'm very gentle and very mild.
No, that's okay.
We are live, Jerry.
Yes. Okay. So namaste Seema ji, how are you? And welcome to the learning experience conversations that we have every Friday with educators.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes,
So,
and pleasure having you with us here. So uh, you know the format. For the first 45 minutes or so you would be having a conversation. It's a very cool, casual, candid, crucial, critical conversation which is free flowing, and then in the last few minutes, maybe around 10 to 15 minutes, I'll join in and just try to kind of provoke some insights about the education sector, methodology, what are the scope for improvement, what is the scope for improvement, etc. So over to Itu and enjoy the conversation. All the best.
thank you.
Thanks,
Yeah, thank
Jerry.
you so much.
Thank you. Namaste, Seema ji.
Namaste.
Thank you once again for finding the time to be with us.
Yes.
And so, you're part of our learning and an initiative that we started in 2019. Your school and you were part of the maiden journey of Rex Karamveer Global Education Change Champions Fellowship, and you were also one of our curators. You helped us find some very, very wonderful stories of some wonderful schools that are doing very inspiring work in Maharashtra and across the country. So, thank you so much for being part of the Change Champions and this community of teachers and school leaders that are bringing about such great learning and change in the society. And with that, I'm going to straight away dive into a conversation with you. So, looking forward to it.
Thank you so much, Itu. And let's see how our conversation goes through. And I'm excited about it.
Same here. So, Seemaji, I'm going to, go back and ask you to take me back with our audience to your growing up years, your school days, and your childhood days, and your college days. How was it? And what's that idea of school that you have in mind? And take us through that. And did it help you into what you're doing now?
So, okay, so I have to go down the memory lane.
Memory lane. Yes.
Yes, it's a little difficult to go down, go back to your memory lane. But I would say whatever I am today, it's because of my past or whatever I was. The bringing up or the character building which happened in my family because of my parents. It's because of them. I give the full credit to my environment where I was born and brought up. So if I have to actually pinpoint about my childhood, I was belonging to a joint family where I had my grandmother, my parents, my uncle, aunt staying, and then, as you know, when this family expand and being staying in Mumbai, you need to have a different place, and you have to move out. So when we had to move out or separate from my uncle and aunt, that was a very sad moment for me to be separated from them, though we had two different houses, but then we had to, because these are the constraint, and these are, I think, the punishments, I would say, to live in a city like Mumbai. So that was one part of it, and I have very faint memories about very cherished memories, I would say, about my childhood with my uncle, who is now 80 plus today, but then very pampered one also. uh, that because we were a joint family and because we had my grandmother staying with me, we learned a lot of values, which automatically I mean, nobody was there to teach us, ye karo, wo karo, but then it was something like, you just observe and you learn and you imbibe, and then when you grow, it automatically comes in your as a habit in you, that this is what you need to do. It's like respecting elders, or it's like taking care of them. or it may be sharing things with somebody. So all those things which I feel that today we need to teach the children, we got it by ourselves because we were in that environment, and we were, I think we were very lucky to be, or I would be very lucky to be there. And there were certain things I think that was taught to us during that period was to be together, the togetherness. So today, when we call it, in corporate world, or when we take trainings, we talk about team building. So these things, the team building was taught to us when we were young, when we were small, when we were growing. Another thing which I remember that, what my parents used to tell me is, if something would go wrong, or if something which would not make us happy as children, normally we cry or we get upset. So our parents would tell us that whatever happens, happens for good. So don't think about whatever has happened is bad only. Think about that what is good in it. How are you going to improve or improvise upon it? So the thought where today we have to teach people think positive, be positive, that has come naturally into us. That whatever happens happens for good. So you need to learn from whatever has happened and move ahead. Think that there is something else waiting for you, which must be better than what you have lost now. So that positivity, to be positive, to think positive, that was also again, I would say, a boon or a gift which was given to us by environment or by our family. Then another thing that is very very important, which I feel is, my parents were not very religious kind of thing. But they were very spiritual. So there is a difference between religious and being spiritual. So they were very spiritual, and believing in Gita, and talking about those Gita ka, the shloks and the teachings, the preachings of Gita. So from there, that was one sentence which has always remained in my mind, and I also reiterate whenever I have to, give guidance to my children or my students. So it is like, you do your karma, you do whatever you can. Don't wait for the results. Leave the results for the Almighty. Don't feel that, oh God, I've done so much, I've not got the result. You wait for the result, you leave it on the Almighty, leave it on your environment, and you see that how you're going to get the benefit of it, because you are going to, with all those things like, positivity and teamwork and to be together. So these were the things which I think we were taught. So it was not that failure would make you weak. In fact, मुझे अभी भी याद है, like, if I have to tell you, if we had a fall or we would get hurt. I had a younger brother. So me and my youngest brother is about 7 to 8 years difference in age. So we were like, very we were very protected about him. And if he would fall, so, and we would like, get panicky. So my mother would tell me that leave him, kuch nahi hua. Let him grow. He has to fall. He has to get hurt to know that he should not. So, but today when we look around us, we see the parents give a lot of protection. There is carpeted flooring. There is no, the children should not get hurt, and parents get panic about it. So I wonder are not able to transfer it to our generation, which is in our hands. So what is it that is missing? So those were the things, like when I remember my childhood days or my growing up days, I think that these are little lessons which we learned automatically. We were not taught as such. So the thing, yeah.
Schools? What about school and those times?
Yeah, school also, like I would say I was a very naughty child, very mischievous in my class, and would love to make, love to play, love to make fun, love to do certain things by which the teacher's attention would be grabbed towards me. But then at the same time, I was not a spoiler. I was loved by my teachers because I would do things, but that would make people happy. And but yes, I would do mischief. And today also, I tell the parents that if your child will not do mischief, who else will do it? They are supposed to do
it. It's a sign of
yeah,
it's a sign of great creativity and great intelligence as well. And Seema ji, you've encapsulated your growing up years and your parenting from your parents so beautifully, and in Rex Karamveer, and in our Mojo Inspirator life learning lessons, we talk about great parents make great leaders. And glad to hear all those things, because somewhere the fabric of family has also shrunk. The teamwork that you talk of, the lessons or the learnings that was very automatic, natural, to people who've been fortunate enough to be born in joint families and to have grown up in joint families. And I can also say that I have been also very, very fortunate in that sense as well, to have extended big family till date back home. So on that note, I want to know, Seemaji, did becoming a teacher was a planned passion and something that you loved when you were growing up, or was it accidental?
Um, Teacher was never my, it was never in my menu card. I wanted to be a doctor, and because I was a student who was very naughty and very mischievous, and I knew that if I'm going to be a teacher, there'll be students like me who are going to trouble me. So I don't want to be a teacher. So teacher is not something that I thought that I have that potential or that caliber to be a teacher. So it was by accident that I became a teacher. I never ever dreamt ever in my life to be in the shoes that I'm wearing right now. So this is something which was really accidental. I never imagined, never dreamt.
But when the accident happened, what happened? What was the trigger, and did the passion kick in?
So again, you're asking me to move back into my past and
Yes, yes.
um, uh, yeah. So it's not, as I said, I'm a teacher, or I'm into this profession by accident. It's not because I wanted to be, but because my life took a U-turn at some point when I was very, very young. And again, when you um, as a person, what I am, I always work in present. I never think about what will happen in future. So what is present, I want to I want to enjoy, I want to have every minute here. I have never thought about what will happen, so I should be prepared for this. So when I got married, I was not even a graduate. So my father wanted me to at least complete my graduation, and I was very young when I got married. I was just 19, and so my and then my husband, when I married, my husband also wanted me to be, he actually said that I always wanted my wife to be the most educated person in my family. So highly qualified person, not educated, but highly qualified person in my family. So you must at least at this particular moment you must complete your graduation. So now there were two males in my life who really wanted me to complete my graduation. So after my marriage, after my son was born, I completed my graduation. So and that was after my marriage. That was one part that I thought that okay, I'm uh, fulfilling the dream. So that was one thing which helped me. Am I audible? Yeah, because internet connection is.
Yeah, it's there's a bit of a glitch and
Yeah,
delay.
yeah.
Is your Wi-Fi working
No,
at
it's
its
on
optimum?
high. But yeah. Yes, yes. So I'll just.
Go ahead, go ahead. Now it's fine.
Okay, so that was a time when I lost my husband after 7 years of my marriage, and that was a time I had two kids. I had my in-laws with me. My in-laws were old enough, and when I lost him, I had nothing else to think about. But one thing, like as you say, we are humans, and as human being, you get negative thoughts. So even I got that negative thought that I will be a burden. I've done nothing. I'm not qualified, I'm not working, there is nothing that I can do. It's better that, we have something, and me and my kids, and we all will also, join my husband in the same thing, and nobody else will have to worry about it. But then I had very good friends. When I spoke to them, because this is not something that you're going to talk to your parents, but you speak to your friends. So when I spoke to my friends were there to actually help me and counsel me. But then they said that you are a graduate, you can do something. So think about how you can move ahead in life, what you can do, because this is something which cowards do. And and then I realized that my parents have never taught me to think negative. My parents said, you have to move ahead, live in the present, don't talk about, look at the past, but then you have to move ahead. So I decided at that particular moment that what I need to do, and I said I have to work. So best profession to work at that particular time was teaching, because that gave me time with my children, my in-laws, and at the same time I would have some earnings. And also during that particular time when my son was 6 years old, and he said that, Mummy, now when Papa is not there, who's going to earn money? So that was a moment where I said that yes, I am there and I'm going to, work, and I'm going to pull myself up and move ahead. So I decided to do my B.Ed, and that's how my journey in education started, because there were many other jobs that were available, but that those jobs were not, I did not find them very respectable at that time. So I thought that this is something where I'm going to get vacation with my children. As a teacher, I will be able to take care of my children, I will be able to take care of my in-laws, and I will be working. So that's how uh, I became a teacher by accident. But when I entered that field,
Yeah, and you're really
it was it was difficult for me, a person who had never worked, never understood what job is all about, never had somebody sitting on top of you, to expect certain things from you. I had my own life. I was free to get up at any time in the morning, sleep at any time, work with the children, do whatever I want to. Never had somebody who had to follow rules and norms. And that was the most difficult task for me, that I had to follow the norms, I had to follow the rules. And yes, so this is what it became.
I would call it discipline, because you had to follow a certain kind of a discipline to reach where you wanted to reach. And we call people like you who break through are champions of change, because when you're in the dark times, when you're breaking down, the resilience and the persistence to break through is what unleashes your absolute power, and unleashes so much in you. And today is your that son's birthday, so wish
Yes,
him a very happy birthday
yeah.
as well, the
Today,
older one, Varun. So
Varun.
yes, and he's wise beyond his age as well, and you've been a great mother. That is for all of us to know. uh, you also went on to do MBA thereafter, and you did brilliantly well in that. Tell us about that journey, and how did it, acquiring all this knowledge or using all that you were learning to learn and learning on your way, help you to better be better your stance as a school leader, as a teacher?
So as I said that I became a teacher by accident, but when I entered this profession, yes, with great difficulty, understanding what is job all about and how you need to work, you need to behave in a there, there is a there is a particular manner that you need to behave when when you are in a job, or when you're working.
Hmm.
So when I was there and when I started teaching became I basically I'm a very creative person. I love to create certain things, and I enjoy that. It's like for me it's my stress buster, to paint or to draw or to make something or to create. I mean, or even to cook. So, when I joined as a teacher, I used to think that, how I can teach children with what creativity I have. And that's how I could understand. I explored myself that, yes, this is something where I could actually use my creativity. And I started enjoying teaching. I used to love teaching. Um, and I think my even I used to get that feedback from the children, because the students would love learning with me, and I would always have a crowd all around me, sitting, not just away on the benches, but all around me. And we really used to have a very good time, whether it was projects or exhibitions or class or whatever. But then as time passed by, as I told you, my in my life, my role model, my father, my husband, they always wanted, and my husband always wanted, and that was there in my mind, that he always wanted me to be very well qualified person. So and I never understood that qualification means, like, getting degrees, or being a person who is really able to understand what is education and pass on those things.
Yeah.
So, and again, this was accidental. MBA was again an accidental thing, that my father's friend had come home, and he said that, well, he asked my father, what your daughter is doing. So he said, she's a teacher. So why doesn't she do MBA? So my father said that, she after B.Ed or after teaching, can she still do MBA? He said, yes, why can't she do it? My wife has done. And then my father again got that kick. And when I went and met him, he said, you have to do MBA, fill up the form. During those days, we did not have internet, so newspaper may all ads used to come when the admissions and entrance exams would come. So he started looking out for it. He removed all those forms and other things. He said, go fill it up. And he sent me to the NMIMS College, Mumbai University. He sent with my brother. He said, go and give this form. So, and I was least bothered कि मुझे पढ़ना ही नहीं, मुझे क्या करना है? I don't want to do it. And then he was after my life that, are you studying for the entrance? Are you studying for the entrance? So I got books and I said, yeah, I'm studying. I'm studying. And I did a little bit, but maybe that was destined for me. So when I gave entrance, I cleared the interview. I cleared all the levels in MBA, and I got admission. And then I started, and then I did MBA. But MBA taught me how I need to change today. So when I did, another reason for me doing MBA was, one of my friends, she had done education management, and I thought that I will do education management. But then I had to go for this, wherein I took in human resources. I did an MBA in HR, and when I came out of it, I used to really, when I was doing, in fact, I was using all the modules of MBA in my teaching while I was teaching in the school. And that's how my creativity, the training sessions for the children started happening in the school. So that became my training ground. Whatever I would do in my course, I would apply it when I was teaching. And when I finished it, I was asked that, why don't you join a corporate, because you will be very well paid. Teachers are not that well paid, so why don't you join the corporate? So I said, no, I have done my MBA, and I've realized that MBA in HR, and HR is human resources. And in this school, I have all human resources and no machines. So I would love to be with the students, and I would love to enhance this category, this area of the society, where we have teachers and students, and bring them up to a level which will be really, really different, rather than just going and teaching and following the norms, particularly as what everybody is doing. I wanted to have a difference in education, make a difference in the society. So that's how I think I have utilized my MBA, and I wanted to be in the school because that is my field, and I want to do it.
Yeah, that's also a huge, huge learning, that you don't have to run after money, because uh, teaching is the
Passion, yeah, yeah.
noblest of job. You're dealing with children. You're making the universe a better place by being a better teacher, by being more creative, and by using your creativity in the best of the way, as a teacher and as a school leader. So that's that's a great learning, and a great lesson, and very very inspiring.
I don't know.
So tell me something. Yeah, of course.
Mm.
And I know that you're very very creative, because you do everything with creative endeavor, be it, and you're a science teacher, and you took science to a different ball game in your creativity. Tell me something about it, because uh, tell us about that, because it's a great learning for the audience, that science was taught with great creativity, with your models and sketches and things like that. Talk about it, because I'm privy to it.
No, I would just give you one example which I always remember. Creating something out of nothing is something like, and making it more realistic. So drawing and painting and making it attractive is everybody, most of them can do, But then I had to teach a lesson in science, and there was one example that I had to share with the children, that the snake sheds the skin after some time, and how does the snake shed its skin? Because it passes through a slit or between two, branches of the tree or the
Please.
stem, and then it would crawl, and then the skin would remain behind. So that was a process that I had to show. And the next day was my lesson, and I wanted to show this. I wanted to practically, and I was like, how should I show it? Like, it is, we don't have videos, we don't have anything. So what should I do? So I was searching my house upside down, what I can find. And I found a rubber snake in the house, in the toy box of my kids. So that rubber snake, they would play with it, throw on somebody, and people would get scared. So that was a rubber snake. So I took that snake, I covered it with the cellophane paper, and then I made a slit in a cardboard, and I had to show it to the children, because the children are sitting in the classroom and we had no visual aids, as I said. So I took the cardboard, and I um, in that slit I kept the face of the snake, and then I started moving it out, and on the other side that cellophane paper, which was as a covered as a skin, was shedded. So to show them, like, a small experiment to show them like how it can be and to make it more real, I did that. But something which is there, which is at home, and from there you need to create the teaching resources, and I used to feel very happy about it. Another thing was like to take them to their imagination, to teach them words, that how you could do it. So closing their eyes, taking them into a spaceship, making them, narrate everything, making them sit in a spaceship, going to a Jew beach where the sand and water is there, making them feel the, sand on their feet. When I taught this lesson to the children in class 6, and then that same class went to class 9. So when they went to class 9, they said, "Ma'am, we still remember how we went on a journey to see the planets. We still remember." So from 6 to 9, they had that in their memory, where I did not teach, we did not make any teaching aids or anything, but it was only the way that you took them to that particular part. So I think that is how teaching has made me more passionate about it. That
Yeah.
you get a lot of opportunity to explore yourself.
Yeah. And creativity and imagination and innovation is the biggest tool that we can give it to our children. And if we as teachers practice it, show it to them,
Yeah,
and visualization, imagination, all that, then the learning is embedded
happiness.
forever and ever. And that kind of a learning can never be taken away. You talk about a lot in your conceptualizing of, you also introduced corporate social responsibility as a concept to your school, and you took it to a level of individual social responsibility with your children. uh, Individual social responsibility is something that we at Rex,
Yes,
and we've coined kind of a thing, that each one of us needs to give back to the universe, give back to the earth, give back to the world, and leave a legacy behind to make it better. Jerry would talk about it later in the conversation. But tell me about it, that how did you start this concept in your school, and the things that you're doing around this?
so as a during my childhood also, I always had a habit of going out of my way and helping others. So helping in some form or other, whether it is my aunt or relative or a friend or any unknown person also, if I had to help them, I would just go out of the way and I would help them. So when I was a teacher, I would do the same thing. But when I became a principal here in SM Shetty High School, where I had to lead and people would ask for opinions. So every time it is not that you initiate certain things. Sometimes even the children teach you. So I had a batch of students about, I think, 4 to 5 years back. I had a batch of students, and these children had a chapter. So the English teacher had taught them something about towards this, making or helping others and making some paper bags. So the children came up with the idea that, ma'am, why don't we make paper bags and sell it to the grocery store, so that they don't buy something and we also earn. So whatever money we will earn, we will donate that money to the special need children. So we have in Mumbai we have adapt school, so where they would ask for sometimes some collection. So for those children we would donate it. So but then that was a very small nominal amount, but then that gave a light to start the new initiative of school social responsibility, where children started making. So we what we did was we had that is the time when we started. So there were children, batch of students who were making in their classroom, who were making paper bags, rakis, and they were making all different envelopes in their classroom. And there were students who were down on the in the auditorium in the ground floor, where they had made the shops. So during the open day, we had told the parents that these are the things which are available and these are students' work, so you can buy. So the parents started buying, and the product, whatever amount or whatever number of things they had made, got over, and parents wanted more. So we had a batch of students who were making. So we had that particular thing. So that was an entrepreneurship that we created. A batch of students who were producing the product, and the other batch who were marketing and selling it. So that is how this initiative started. We collected around 25,000 rupees at that time, and we donated it to the adapt school. But after that, this particular activity gave birth to our care to share activity, where every year our children make some artifacts. We sell it during the open day. The money which is collected is given, and then furthermore we started having charity programs like dandiya or the cultural event, where the parents buy the ticket, we play, we collect money, and after selling the tickets, along with that, one very good initiative we started was, I say it is a very good initiative because I feel very happy to share about this, that we started with ek coin ek value. Now
Hmm.
this initiative was we gave every student a piggy bank, earthen piggy bank, and this earthen piggy bank would have the collection of coins, and these coins would not be like one coin for one value that you depict. So the parents were told that if your child has done something good, then and you feel happy about it, you can put a 1 rupee coin or a 2 rupee or a 10 rupee or a 5 rupee, but you have to put a coin and no notes in it. The child will not go collecting it. You have to see that your child has done something good, helped you or behaved well or helped somebody. And even if the child has done something good in the class, so the teacher can also put that one coin. So it depends upon how many values that you have done. So end of the year, all the teachers of the classroom of one particular class, they would break open their piggy bank, count the amount, and that amount which was collected was donated to the adapt school. So we collected around 25,000 rupees at that time, and whatever money was collected, we were very happy about it. That whatever money was by the management to donate it to the Bharat Ki Veer. So we did that, and that amount, whatever we collect, we also sponsor certain children who are not able to pay fees, because we do the initiative by the students for the students. So it is That Bharat Ki Veer also, it was for the children of those armed force people, either who have lost their life or are handicapped, and their children need money to be educated. So in that particular area, we had donated. So this is how I think it started, and we all then we initiated as our housekeeping staff in the school, and security and the peons. So we started with one more initiative which is called as Dildari Ki Dukan, and that Dildari Ki Dukan is done on Labor Day, that is May 1st, that is celebrated in Maharashtra. So on that day we set up a program for all these class 4 employees, when we call them, all the housekeeping staff. They are made to sit in the auditorium on the chairs. Normally they work for us, and on that day all the teachers and students, we present a program to them. We have a program for them, and also the material collected from the teachers side, like may not need it, but it may be of some use to them. But it has to be really good. Or the teachers can buy and give that product. That product may cost 600, 1000, 3000, whatever. But it will be sold in that Dildari ki dukan for only 13 rupees. The concept of tera. 13 रुपए में तेरा. So it is like, it is yours. So Hindi में जब हम कहते हैं तेरा and तेरा, that is what was the concept. And we started with this, and anybody who wanted, we would go through that Dildari ki dukan, pick up just one article, and whatever money, that is 13 rupees for that item, would be put in that earthen piggy bank which was placed outside, and that money also goes back to the donation drive for any other person. So these people could, number of articles which are collected, based on that many rounds we ask them to take up, or that many articles they can pick up. Otherwise one person can go and pick up 6 7, and be very happy. So we had very good stuff like blankets and mixer grinders and pressure cookers. So all those things which normally, people have 2 or 3 at home, somebody has given gift or something like that, but they are new. But that is what is donated by the teachers, by the students, and that can be bought by them. So they also don't feel that humko purana saman de diya, but we have bought it with money. So that is one concept that we started for helping all these people.
Yeah. So those are some really wonderful, innovative initiatives, and those are the stories that we also wanted to share with our people around, and also in our initiative of Education Change Champions, where schools are also talking about the joy of giving, and Rex Ideas for Action, and Jerry was the architect of the Joy of Giving movement that is around the world now in its different forms, like Tuesday Giving or Dhanatsav. But this movement, along with Swachh Bharat, was started by Jerry, and where we are talking about that, give it back, and enjoy, and the joy that we give when we give it back is equivalent to nothing else in the universe. Also, the fact that schools are a place where we need to not just teach about curriculum or books and the knowledge, but we have to also teach them how to live life skills, and the initiatives of giving back to the society, giving back from where you get, and also preparing children for something like challenges in life, something that we are sitting in, is a great lesson. And the schools that are doing it are doing such a great favor to the society, to the parents, to themselves and children at the most. So thank you for bringing that out, and those were very innovative, very beautiful
Yeah.
initiatives, which need to be replicated and used by other schools as well, because that's how we broaden the horizons of giving and sharing and learning.
Yeah. Yes.
Simaji, I'd like to ask, that you spoke about creativity, and uh, in the COVID times, when it just all of a sudden things happened to us, and one fine day, the world that we knew is not the world that it is. It's changed, and the biggest change happened for teachers, for students, for parents. Of course, a lot of other people were affected by it, but you had to innovate, create, and you had to still deliver. And also the schools reached home all of a sudden.
Still
Not
there.
just your student is your student in the class, but sometimes the parents are also there sitting with the students. So tell us your COVID story, and tell us something that you'd like to share around it.
I don't know whether my COVID story would be different than anybody else's COVID story, especially in the field of education. Everyone has been affected, I would say. I can say everyone in the education field right now. If
We
I
are
have,
in it
you know,
together. It's all a learning.
so so when this particular thing happened, I'm really proud to say that today my teachers from last year when they are working, if I have to say, we normally as teachers we get vacation during the month of April, May. We haven't got the vacation. We have not even taken a single holiday. In fact, everything has doubled, working and homework. Like otherwise you would have the help of maids here, in the house, but that is not there, that is missing. So the teachers, the students are the most affected, uh, you know class, I would say, in the whole around the world. But the teachers are also the affected class uh, because of unpreparedness, because we had no idea. We were preparing, but we had no idea that this would come so sudden, and different way which nobody has even thought about it. So when we came to know about it and we start our classes for standard 10, that my teacher, I could teach my teacher, initiate my learning, my unlearning, and my learning. So when I training session with my teachers and tell them that, and show them that actual proof that if I can do it, even you all can do it. Taking a class with them every day. I said, I'm going to take a class which will be regular with you, and I'm going to learn what you need to do, but I will be the person who is doing along with you. So togetherness of my environment, my childhood environment, was I'm with my teachers, what they are learning. I can able to empathize with them. So when I am able to during this COVID time, that whether you are able to empathize with the people or you're not. So I would say that yes, I am with them, and I'm not only they should change, because nearing the retirement example for everybody, that the hope is still there, that people, or a person learns till the time you're alive. So
Absolutely.
the ECG machine, I always remember that, another side, or when you don't die till, if you're unsatisfied, it's like a again, it's like, the is there, it is straight line. So we have, as human beings, we have to see that the time has come. Go ahead. Also my parents, and I've got a great terms of academics. We are many things. We have done investiture ceremonies. We are doing competitions. We are doing dance competitions, music competitions. We have also started. Sorry, we have also played to Kishorda and Kumar Sanu from K to K that we have. Sports, we are doing competitions, virtual run, skipping, online. We're trying to see that nothing is there is no gap. Instead of having gaps, we are making bridges. So so even the and do sit back and cry, but we'll be more creative. As I said, I would love to change. Hopefully, let's see if we can get into the model of hybrid schooling, keeping our fingers crossed how the things happen by from the state government and others, and management. Surely my management is really very supportive and progressive, so we'll be doing it.
So you talk about hybrid life. There has to be a change where we'll have to shift from what we are doing in a lot of ways, and what we thought was normal is not going to be normal. We'll have to challenge ourselves a lot. Um, Seemaji, I want to ask last thing, which is with the pandemic, another very stark reality and another pandemic that we have been inflicted with from long, and which we had put under the carpet, we were not talking about, we were not addressing, and we are is mental health issues. And mental health is something that is affecting all of us, all age groups, but children are very vulnerable to it. And is there something that you're doing in your organization, in your institute, in your school to
Didn't
kind
get
of address that? Because it's the most important thing, I
ending
think.
the last. I didn't get the last part. Too.
I said, is it something that you're doing about mental health? Because I think everything else can wait. If the mental health or the sanity or the calmness of the child or the true zeal and happiness of the child is not alive, then it's something that is a dangerous place, and we need to address that. So what's your thought on that? What are your insights on that, and what you as a school leader are trying to do? Because you earlier talked about that you have to make leaders, you have to be creative, you have to lead, and you have to teach all of that, not just to your students but to your children. But tell me about the mental health part of addressing this issue, because it's something that's a sword is lurking on our heads. It's a really bad place.
School we have Dr. Hari Shetty, who's a psychiatrist and a mental health. He is guiding us and how we can take care of. We have sessions with the parents. We have sessions with the students. Psychologists also who enter our online classes. People waited. So these are and as a principal or when we look at academics, so that is why I said that we have not just constrain ourselves to academics, because online normally we if we say that okay we have to just teach and learn, so that is not we are doing. We've started with the community classes in the evening, both come to dramatics for IT or for yoga and PE, and the parent is comparatively free and the child is also there, so both of them together attend that particular class. And of course when it would have been a normal time, we had those extra classes where extra charges are taken, but during these times there are not these charges. We are just asking them to come online, be happy, exercise for some time, and have a refreshed mind while you are doing that. Also, during academies, we have breaks in between two classes so that the child is not fatigued. They are not sitting on screen for a longer time. And they have some other activities to do, because during this lockdown, this is something which they are not getting it. So having some competitions also add it up. Like, the child is preparing for competition. They are getting ready. They're working towards it, some projects. So the mind is not just stuck to the screen or serials or movies, and not just also to the books. There are certain other activities which help them to de-stress themselves. So this is what we are doing from our side, so that, and if there is an help, if there is an emergency, we see to it that a medical help on go.
Yeah. And I think the times that we are sitting in right now, the only thing that we have to kind of percolate and help and permeate through our learnings as teachers and as parents, as whoever we are, wherever we are, that we have to be just so grateful for whatever we have. We have so much going on. We got to be grateful for a lot of things. And this
Yes.
sense of contentment is very, very important, because there are people who have nothing, who have migrant problem and so many other things. So we need to be, relearning a lot of other lessons that we are also imparting in schools as well. On that note, I'm going to invite Jerry back into the conversation to draw some more insights from the conversation that you and I had right now. So waiting for you, Jerry, to be
Yes,
back.
ma'am. Yes, we are
Yes,
back, Itu.
Jerry.
And Seema ji, how are you? Namaste
I'm
once again.
having some connectivity problem. I don't know what it is.
Yes, yeah,
You
I
have
know.
issue, I think.
I
It's a bit.
noticed
Yeah, but
that.
it's showing the full signal, but I don't know why. Just,
Right. So I just, overheard you saying that you are trained in HR, and I didn't know that.
oh my. So you got a news today.
So you did your MBA in HR.
Yes, I did
Okay.
MBA in HR.
And did you work as HR as a HR professional anywhere?
No.
Never,
Never,
never.
never.
Mm.
Okay, if you had done that, you would have probably been responsible for the mental health concerns of a few employees.
Yeah, I know that people would have hated me.
That's what people in HR mostly do, because they made HR so transactional
Yes,
that the concept of investing in people and unleashing their potential has been lost.
yes.
And the insight I want to share with you is, it's called the Ministry of HR and Education, because school and college is a part of human potential development. I don't like calling it a human resource, because it makes it very transactional again. That word resource is a very derogatory word. It
Mhm.
makes you feel like a commodity, like
Yeah, we
a
are something to use, to be used.
right, like you're something to hire.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, that's the language they use also, hire and fire, and
Mm.
all the lemon squeezing language, as I call it. But I mean, I want to flag this, and I'm before getting into the insight sharing on that, I want to flag this with you, that we should have you on our in our learning circle, because we are creating a HR OD. OD is organization development. I'm sure you know that
Yes.
as an MBA HR, but most HR people are only doing transactions rather than developing organizations. And one of the transactions they do is that they they like to earn their brownie points and their 5 minutes of fame by being in this ratings called the Great Places to Work.
Yes.
And I find that to be the most bizarre, because no workplace can be a great place
Yes,
to
yes.
work, right?
Unless you make it one.
Yeah, but in an organization of even 400 people or 200 people, HR can't make it a great place to work, because there are different managers managing different teams. And
Yes.
HR does not have the influence on all those teams, right? What you have an influence on is to create a great learning culture in an organization, which
Mhm.
is being ignored in most organizations,
mm,
which is what Peter Senge called as the fifth discipline,
mm,
right? And what Peter Drucker, another management guru, wrote long back in his books, and he said, "Culture eats strategy for breakfast." So
mm,
whether it's HR or CEOs or CXOs, they're all focusing on strategy and some half-baked vision that they peddle to their employees without really creating that culture of learning. Because as far as I'm concerned, I believe that learning is growth,
yes.
not climbing the career. Because I mean, the maturity levels of many people in the corporate sector is still the maturity of that person who was in class 7 or 8. And even class 7 or 8 students probably have more maturity, right? So they've just climbed up the ladder. They've not grown over here. They're just people who are manipulating, managing, and getting the work done to meet their quarterly results and targets so that they can take a salary back home. And that's what we have proposed, and we are creating a rating called Great Organizations at the Rate of Learning. GO at the rate of learning. So it also becomes goal. That
Mm,
let this be your primary goal as a OD department, to create a culture of learning, because learning can be directly in the jurisdiction and the circle of influence of a person in HR and
mm,
even the CEO, because that can be percolated through to the last mile. Great places to work is not in the control of the HR head or the CEO, because different managers will have their different styles of creating
exactly.
toxicity. So how many people will you control? So in an organization which is like 100,000 plus, it's absolutely impossible,
Yes.
right? That's why I always say great places to work is a flawed concept, because the same great places to work, if you compare them with Glassdoor, the stories are very contradictory,
Yes.
right? And the Gallup organization study shows you, and it's not changed in the past 20 years. This is the 20th year of the study, and the percentage went down from 87% to 85%, which is just a 2% reduction in 2017, which was the 17th or the 18th year of the study. And it shows you that 85% of people who come to jobs worldwide hate their jobs,
Mm,
right? And they hate their jobs because workplaces are very toxic, the culture is very toxic, there is no learning culture. And unfortunately, even learning and development in most organizations in India is seen as a tick in the checkbox. It's not really that bring out the best in our people, right? You will see that even in briefs given to you by HR heads and learning heads. Oh, take them out whitewater rafting and build me great teams. I'm like, does that build
it
great
doesn't
teams?
happen. It doesn't
I mean,
happen.
I use a metaphor for that. It's like taking the monkey to the L'Oreal salon, I tell them. Because I say things which are very hard, I have to kind of sugarcoat it with humor so that it takes the edge away. And they're like, what do you mean by that? I said, try to figure what the metaphor means. It's
Mm,
like taking a monkey to a L'Oreal salon and making him good looking like Aishwarya Rai or Brad Pitt.
mm,
And L'Oreal products are very effective, so they will look good for some time. But when the cosmetics wear out, they'll start the monkey games again,
mm.
because whitewater rafting and rappelling does not build great teams.
And it happens, it has a temporary effect. It doesn't have a,
Absolutely. So great teams are built on trust. They are built on shared values. They are built on a collective vision, right? Not built on a vision which is peddled to them by some guy sitting in a glass house. Anyway, it's a long topic. But what are your views on this? Since I've said so much now to you, give me your views. Since you're not a HR professional, you can give me your views candidly. HR heads get very scared to talk to me. They're like,
I won't say that, because HR is something, as I said that, when I did my MBA, they said that human resource, it is there. So I said I have my human resource, something that in the school which is all human being around me, and I need to develop them, and I need to train them, and at the same time I need to train myself as to understand. Because if I am not mutually able to understand, or if I'm not able to empathize with them, if I'm not able to see where the shoe pinches, I will not be able to bring in the change. So
right,
that is where I feel that I never wanted. I had no idea about what corporates are. As I said that school was my first job, and being a teacher was my first profession, and that has remained as a last profession also. So after doing that, I could just polish my myself, understanding my understanding I could polish, and how to apply it at a school level with the students, with the children, with the parents. So I was able to talk to the parents in a different manner, because today also when parents come to me, I get one compliment. I take it as compliment. I never take it as a complaint or something. So I take it as a compliment when there is a parent who is very angry and has a lot of complaints and has spoken everything in the office, and then the office people are tired and then they say, ma'am, please talk to them. So when they come to me, they speak to me, they go out, they're very happy. And then the office people come inside and they say, ma'am, what aapne kya bola, what did you say that the parent was having a smile and not even complained a single thing about whatever he said. He agreed to everything. So I said, yes, that is where I could, I understood that yes, my HR giri is now working here, that I'm able to understand the mind of the parent, how to talk to them, how to deal with their problem, and then make them satisfied, go back satisfied with whatever answers they need.
Right.
Not that they come back again, that, oh, you had a very temporary effect on us, and now we'll not, you said something and now you're not doing it. So promises which are made, seeing to it that they're carried out, not
Right.
done it.
So how, I mean, just explain to me in a nutshell, how is the HR degree helping in that?
So that is what I said, that whatever trainings that we had, building an organization, or
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. But then
getting.
why aren't the HR people building organizations and organizations then? If you're doing it in school, what are they doing?
So maybe they are given a job profile of doing only
Ah,
that much.
that's where you are, and that's exactly what I'm going. So I just reached out to an HR head yesterday to invite him because we are starting the HRX conversations every Thursday from November 12th, and for the first conversation on 12th we have an academic. She's a professor of HR now who will be joining us from New York. But for the second one, I sent out to a few HR heads, and people wrote that I will come on the platform, but I cannot come in my official capacity because a lot of what you will discuss with us is completely contradictory to what they want us to do in organizations. So you can do it because you're the school principal, and I think the HR community is restricted because a lot of CEOs don't care about unleashing the potential in people. They just want to treat them like numbers. And that's what they've reduced them to, a P&L account,
Yes.
right? People are just a P&L account. And I remember I was watching this one serial on a show. I think it was it's called Mind Hunter
Yeah.
on Netflix. And in Netflix, in one of the episodes, they share that the psychological profile and the psychographics of serial killers is very similar to that of many politicians and business leaders and CEOs. And that chap says exactly, they're all sociopaths, right? So that holds true because they're only looking at their gain. It's all about satisfying their greed, their lust for power, and they don't really end up unleashing the potential of people, which is what should have been done by people in HR. And people in HR should be given that free hand to operate as HR professionals and partners who are bringing out the best in people. Because when you bring out the best in people, productivity increases and results will be much better than what they are performing today.
So
Anyway, that
I would give you one example here. I mean, I wouldn't name it, but I was asked once to headhunt. We
right,
started a new initiative and we wanted good people, experienced people. So I was asked to headhunt, and I was talking about my school where my children had studied, the Montessori school where my own children have studied, my niece nephews have studied, and I really I'm very passionate about that particular method of teaching the children.
right,
So I was talking to them about, there are these people, and we don't have the teachers who are trained with Montessori, like normal schools don't have the teachers. So they said that, okay, why don't you headhunt, you get the teachers from there. And I refused. I said, no, I will not. So
right.
it was a shock to them, like, somebody
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
is saying no. I said, no, I will not. They said, why would you not? I said, because I respect that school. My children have studied there, and from that school, I will never hunt a teacher and bring them to my school.
Absolutely, because I mean, why do you want to mess up that school? And that's
Mm,
exactly what HR people do. They headhunt, they bring that talent in, and then they destroy that talent with their toxic cultures, right? I'm happy you brought this point out. And you know, when you spoke about parents, you know, and the parents, I'm amazed that you are able to satisfy them, because the parents are the same corporate people who are coming to you, right? And like they treat their employees just like a resource, that's the exact way that they're treating their children also, just a resource.
yeah.
The resource has to be monetized after graduation. So what are your thoughts on that?
So I missed out on some part of your question because of
No,
internet.
I was saying, as a HR person, like, you know, with your HR training, you're able to satisfy parents. But the parents, the mindset you were talking about, right? This is the same parent who is working in some corporate or some organization,
Yes,
right? Some
yes,
of them are CXOs, CEOs, yes or no?
yes.
And they are those sociopaths that Mindhunter talks about, right?
Mm.
So, like they manipulate their teams and workforce, that's the same thing. Because see, your brain becomes the same. No, you cannot play two games. That's the same. They'll probably do it in a softer, subtle way, but that's the same kind of process and practice they apply to their children also. So that child has to be manipulated in some way to perform, to get a high percentage, right? Because results matter, people don't.
Yes,
People are lemons, squeeze them, get the juice out, get the results out, right? So when they come to meet you, they are actually coming to meet you to say that our child has to perform better, because after graduation he has to start milking the money that
mm.
we have invested in her or him for 15 years. है ना? I mean, you do you get that insight when you're talking to parents?
See,
Honestly, candidly,
no,
even though they may be watching you.
no. It doesn't matter. The parents have very high expectations from their children, and at the same time, they have very high expectation from the teachers.
Right,
So if
right,
they say that, my child is not doing, so they have the expectation the teacher has to work with the child to
right,
make it happen.
right,
So when this situation is not that when it arrives, it is always there.
right,
It's there. It is a reality,
right,
because whether the parent is himself or herself, whether they are gold medalists or they are not the gold medalists, but they
right.
want their child to be the gold medalist,
Mm.
which is not possible. So we have the sessions with the parents, we talk to them, and we also have sessions with the students where we speak to the children that they need to speak to their parents about their likes, their dislikes, what they want, to have that freedom, to have that courage to open up and say that yes, I this is what I want to do. And we also talk to the parents about the same thing. We make the children and the parents sit together in an auditorium where we speak to the parents, and so that they are not hovering over their children. Okay,
Right,
you
right.
have to be 90. Everybody cannot be 90 plus, and
Absolutely.
everybody cannot be second class also.
Yeah, but then that's what I was telling you. Now the mindset is the same, right? So in psychological studies, we say your brain gets wired. What you do at work, you start doing at home, and vice versa, because most of your behaviors are unconscious, and parents don't know that. And so they are so used to manipulating their team members, they bring the same energy home, and
No,
they end up manipulating their children also.
I would also say that it's not just manipulating. There are many parents who we have, they're not even educated. So
Right,
it's not that manipulating them, but there is a lot of expectation. If I cannot be, my child has to be. Or
right,
I am a doctor, or I am a lawyer, or I am an engineer. How can my child have a learning difficulty or a
right,
disability?
right,
So that denial, they live in that denial,
right.
where we need to speak to the parents and we need to tell them that your child has a very different potential.
Absolutely.
Let the
No,
child be it.
we discussed this in our last panel that we did for,
Mm.
because we were speaking to a young girl who was giving us these insights about parents. And
Yeah.
absolutely, and you're right. So it's like there is no difference between apples and oranges for them. So everything is the same, right? It's
And
all growing on one tree.
the fish has to climb the tree.
Right. They are
Very.
very, very clear about that. So there is a lot of sense in what those people in the Mind Hunter show were saying, that
Yeah.
parents are also sociopaths,
No,
right?
because see, what has happened is when they are like, another thing, we cannot blame, we cannot say that okay, parents are like this. Some of them, but many have studied in a one particular mode method. They have
Right.
not changed, so they feel that this is the only way the child can learn because we have learned it this. But
Right. That I understand. The nature and nurture
this
is
other, he is going to be a duffer.
right.
So
They have been put in a box,
yeah,
and they want to put their children
so
in a box, and the vicious cycle continues.
they there was one of my parent who who said that what is this that you all have started teaching student with technology all the time. My child is sitting with the laptop or or a tablet and he's working only on that. So tell them not to use a tablet. They have to sit and practice in the book and they have to write and all those things, but not to use the tablet. So we had to counsel the parent, talk to the parent that this is a time is changing, you need to change with time. You cannot. Today what are we doing? Today we are using the same thing.
Right.
But 2 years back the parent was saying not to do it. Today the parent has to buy a tablet or a laptop for the child to sit at home online and carry out the same process.
Right.
So those things are there, but yes, it will take to change the mindset is the most difficult task.
Absolutely, and that's what I work on. I don't say it's difficult. It's deep cleansing required, right?
Yes,
It's like it's like putting a vacuum cleaner from wherever and trying to
pull it out.
vacuum all that crap out. I'm
Yeah.
using a strong word, right? Uh, because even on television they allow crap. They don't allow the word starting with S. So I'm using, like, they say bull crap. They don't say bull. Right. So you got to get all that, because it's deep cleansing required, cleansing, right? So anyway, thank you so much, ma'am. Brilliant insights, and we would love to have you as a part of our learning circle for the HR ratings that we are creating,
Sure.
because you will bring in a perspective which is candid, while HR heads would be a little more timid about doing that. So we can kind of merge the timid and the candid, you
Yes.
know? So that's
Sure.
what.
Sure.
All right. So
Thank you.
excellent. Thank you so much. Pleasure
Thank you.
discussing with you, and great insights. Thank you for the learning once again, and have a great evening. Any
Thank you
closing
for
insights from both of you? And then
inviting me. Yeah, thank you for inviting me to be on this platform. And
surely,
while
surely, yes.
went
And
through
Thank
we,
you
my
so
past,
much.
and it was a deep cleaning for me, and me also.
right. And we will
And
be in touch, because we are going to launch the season 2 of the awards very soon.
Yeah.
okay,
Because of the lockdown, we couldn't do it, but now we are going to start. And I think we're starting with the online award first before we move with the offline award. I don't know. It was working on that, so
hmm,
she's the leader and the karta
curator.
karta darta, like they say in the. All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Okay,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Bye.
Namaste and have a great
Thank you so
evening.
much.
See you.
We'll
Bye
keep in
bye.
touch. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Lovely learning with you.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.